From the Gene Policini Center on the campus of the Rochester Institute of Technology, we welcome you to RIT Sports Zone's coverage of Tiger hockey. Well, classes don't resume for the spring semester until Monday, but this weekend a big test for Captain Adam Brubaker and the Tigers as they step out of conference to play host to nationally ranked UMass Lowell. The Riverhawks have had a tremendous season thus far as they come to town ranked 11th in the USA Hockey Magazine poll and 13th in the US CHO poll, and maybe most impressive is the fact they're currently tied for first place atop the best conference in college hockey. Good evening, I'm Kevin Roach and welcome to RIT Sports Zone pregame live. Well, the Tigers got back to conference play last weekend after the lengthy holiday break, and despite securing 2 of a possible 3 points last Friday night in a shootout victory over Canisius, those were unfortunately the only points RIT came up with in their home-and-home series with the Griffs. Last Saturday night, Tigers and Griffs at the Harbor Center in Buffalo. Second period, Mitchell Martin beating the Tigers down the ice and beating Logan Drackett for the goal. Canisius led 2-0 after 2. The Griffs would add to their lead on the rush early in the third. Will Schurer puts Canisius up by 3. Tigers could have folded, but they did not. Instead, they scored 3 unanswered here on the power play. Caleb Moretz buries the one-timer, 3-1 RIT down. Then it's Moretz from the same spot, another power play goal. The rebound is in, and it's 3-2, and the Tigers would tie it thanks to Will Calverley, who put in the rebound here with 1:17 left in regulation, but just 17 seconds later, Canisius would retake the lead. Matt Hoover's wrister sneaks in. The Griffs would add an empty netter, and they skated to a 5-3 victory over the Tigers. As we dive inside the numbers from last Saturday's loss at Harbor Center, the Tigers put 17 shots on net in the third period, as shots ended up even at 28. Caleb Moretz scored twice on the power play, while Will Calverley recorded his team-leading 9th goal on the season. Dan Willett finishing with 3 assists. As for Canisius, they had 5 different goal scorers, including Nick Hutchison, who's tied for 5th among active Division I players with 51 goals on his career. So with only 2 points last weekend, the Tigers remain tied for 4th with Robert Morris, 8 points behind league-leading Sacred Heart. The Pioneers have a 1-point cushion over Army, despite picking up 4 points last weekend. Canisius still 10th overall. Tigers won't get back to conference play until January 24th, 2 weeks from today, when they play another home-and-home series with Canisius. So as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a big challenge facing RIT over the next 2 weeks. First, UMass Lowell, and then a trip to visit nationally ranked Arizona State next week. With more on tonight's matchup, our John DiTullio standing by live now with RIT head coach Wayne Wilson. John?
All right, Kevin, thanks so much. And Wayne, you get the next couple weeks off from league play, but you will be challenged, as Kevin just mentioned, the next 2 weeks, starting tonight with UMass Lowell. What do you expect tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're a real tough team. They're not cute. They just come right at you. They're very direct in what they do. Very sound defensively. They got an outstanding goaltender. Very good in what they do system-wise. Like I said, they're going to be in our face. It's going to be hard for us. We're going to have to fight for ice time. We're going to have to fight to get shots on goals and get second opportunities. It's going to be a dogfight out here, and they just play to their identity, and they're a very strong team.
Do you kind of like the break from league play, and you like the challenges the next 2 weeks? Does it fit with your schedule?
Well, I do like having a non-conference the second half. Maybe not back-to-back weekends, but with the extra games, that's how we were able to manage it and do it. But I'd like it just so that you're not front-loaded with non-conference games and you're in league play the whole time through. So I think what it's going to do these 2 weekends, obviously starting with this weekend, is really test us, see where we are at this point of the season. These are 2 ranked teams. They're different teams. This one, from a defensive standpoint, doesn't give you much, and like I said, with a great goalie, but well coached, and if you win against Lowell, then you've accomplished something.
You've been preaching staying out of the box. What do you want to see tonight from your club?
Stay out of the box. How's that? I mean, we've been talking about, we've got to put it into action now, and just poor penalties. I mean, that's all I can say, and we've got to learn our lessons. It's hard enough to play and be shorthanded for the 3-4 times that you are in a game and trying to keep the other team off the board. You give them 8 opportunities. You may as well spot them a goal and say, now you've got to score 2 if you want to win this game. And that's just too difficult to do in college hockey, and we've got to learn our lessons.
Does playing not only in this league, but playing ranked teams like Bowling Green and Ohio State help you in games like this?
Well, I think absolutely something to draw on from the past this year with the existing team that we have. So you're not looking at previous years, you're looking at this year's team. And so I just think that, like I said, I think it's a great test. I think we've got to rise to the occasion here and play on our toes and really get after things, knowing that it's not going to be easy. And I think also, even just from a team standpoint, be strong together in adversity, because they're going to have waves where it's going to be tough on us, and we've got to survive those waves, pull together, and then create some ourselves. So I like the challenge that it presents our team at this particular standpoint. It's a little bit of, if you win at the end of the year and you're going to the NCAA, you're playing teams like UMass Lowell. So we're looking for that challenge.
For me, it's going to be fun calling this game. Hope it's fun for you behind the bench, buddy.
Well, it is, and I enjoy these challenges, and I think our players do, and it really gets the blood flowing here, and we should be ready to go.
You got it. That's head coach Wayne Wilson with the RIT Tigers. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Johnny, we'll check back with you in just a bit. Well, this weekend, UMass Lowell will play its final 2 non-conference games of the year, and to get to Rochester, the Riverhawks had to endure their longest bus ride of the season, a 397-mile trek from Lowell, Massachusetts, here to the Gene Policini Center. Well, the Tigers made that trip to Lowell last season, where they earned a split with the Riverhawks. Last weekend, Lowell returned from a 28-day layoff to defeat Merrimack, earning the program's 11th win on the season. This year's Lowell team is exceeding the expectations of many outsiders. They were picked to finish 6th in their league, and while there's still a long way to go, they're currently tied for first place in Hockey East, being led by a great goaltender and a trio of freshmen who are their top 3-point scorers.
I don't know about external expectations. Internally, I would say that we're coming along pretty well. I think we have a fairly young group, especially on the back end. And one thing that's aided our development and our continued progress is the play of our goaltender. He's been consistent. And Tyler's steadiness has allowed us to absorb some bumps in the road and come out on the other side of them pretty well.
When you look at a goaltender like that and knowing what it takes to win in college hockey, he's the type of guy that can carry you pretty deep in beyond March and maybe into April.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we're focused on this weekend.
Sure.
And but Tyler's, he's had a good career at Lowell, but this season I think he's taken another step in terms of consistency.
Yeah, he certainly has been good for the Riverhawks. Well, still to come on the program, the RIT women's hockey team return to conference play on home ice this afternoon. Highlights are on the way. Plus, he's currently the top-scoring freshman on the RIT Tigers roster. Number 20 is forward Caleb Moretz. The Fairbanks, Alaska native, has 5 points in his last 4 games, and he'll join the program live next as our coverage of Tiger hockey continues from the Gene Policini Center. It's RIT and UMass Lowell at 7:05. This is RIT Sports Zone pregame live.
Short side, cannot. Babin, good energy, backhander in front, goal! Tyler Brenner has given the RIT Tigers a 4-3 lead. Well, playmakers make plays. Simple as that, great pass. Brenner right there on the doorstep. Advantage RIT. It's over. We're down to only 15 seconds remaining here, though. 10 seconds remaining as now the puck goes along the near side. Opposite end, Scott Knowles. Backhander right out in front, Mandalore, oh no! With 1.3 remaining! The backhander in front of this crowd, all standing, ready to celebrate a victory. Instead, we're going to head to overtime. The Tigers will scoop it up and bring it out. Instead, it's intercepted by Edwards and sent back down in. UMass will change it up, a couple scanners there, is a play, and oh! Big save by Manalora. Shane Manalora has just kept this game alive. That was big. 5 seconds. Down the ice, is this going to go for icing? No, they're going to wave it off. An anticlimactic end to this game, John.
It's disappointing.
crowd of over 10,000.
Yeah, it was disappointing for sure. The last time the Riverhawks made a trip here was 10 years ago for Brick City homecoming. You just saw it there. A tough one for the Tigers to swallow that night as they let a victory slip away. Overall, RIT has some big wins against teams from Hockey East earlier this year. Tigers beat Merrimack for Brick City homecoming. They split with Lowell last season, and with Providence the year before, they also beat New Hampshire back in 2010 to reach the Frozen Four. Overall, at the D1 level, RIT 4-12-3 against Hockey East. In the net for the Tigers tonight will be number 30, Logan Drackett. The Calgary native has started all 20 games the Tigers have played this season. Last Saturday, Drackett gave up 4 goals at Canisius, which raised his goals against average to 2.33. For Lowell, it will be senior Tyler Wall, who has started 18 of 19. Wall has been a wall in net during his final season, ranking in the top 5 nationally in save percentage and goals against average, which currently is an eye-whopping 1.68. A win tonight for Wall would be his 52nd career victory, surpassing former NHL goaltender Dwayne Rollison for the most in UMass Lowell Division I history. Good company for him there. Well, the Tigers will have their work cut out for themselves here tonight, no doubt about that. One of the guys who hopes to break through is freshman Caleb Moritz, who's, live now with our Kim Coffey. Kim?
Thanks, Kevin. Caleb, first of all, I got to ask you, how are you guys feeling overall? I know like the flu bug swept you guys last week, but overall, you guys feeling rested and ready tonight?
Definitely a lot better than last week for sure. We had it seemed like our whole team was sick at one point. Now we just got a couple guys, so I don't know, bounce back after a good flu bug, and we'll see how it goes.
You had 2 power play goals last Saturday to try to get your team back in the game with Canisius. What do you have to do to generate more of those scoring opportunities tonight, especially facing a tough goalie like Tyler Wall?
You got to get in front of him for sure, and we just got to shoot pucks. I mean, our opportunities came from just shooting and getting rebounds and, greasy goals on the power play, which is something we haven't really done in the past. So I feel like, especially against a goalie like this, we got to just get shots, take his eyes away, and get a couple lucky bounces.
You're facing your 3rd nationally ranked team here tonight. What are you expecting to see from the Riverhawks?
Probably similar to the last 2. I mean, they were ranked when we played them, and our team stepped up when we did. So everybody's got to be playing tonight in order for us to compete and have a good game, and that's what we got to do.
Thanks so much, Caleb, and good luck tonight.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Kevin, back to you.
Yeah, Kim, he mentioned a good flu bug. I don't think there was anything good about the flu that the Tigers endured last week. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Meanwhile, the RIT women's hockey team has been a bit of a roll lately. The Tigers swept LIU Brooklyn before the break and returned to the ice last weekend to complete a sweep of Sacred Heart. They were back here today for conference play. They were hosting Robert Morris. First period, just over 4 minutes in, Madison Itagaki. The shot, no, but watch the Tigers go to work around the net, trying to put in the loose puck, and finally Jade Mancini does it. 1-0 Tigers after 1. Second period, Tigers would add to their lead as the Colonials are going to turn it over here. And here come the Tigers, a nice rush. Abby Davis is going to find Hunter Barnett, and she scores. Tigers win their 5th straight 2-1 over Robert Morris. Tara Lantane had 40 saves. Same 2 teams right here at the Policini tomorrow at noon. College basketball tonight at the Clark Gym, currently going on. William Smith leading RIT 70-57. That one headed to the 4th. The Hobart men and the RIT men tipping off at 7:30 this evening. The RIT women's basketball team's been to the NCAA tournament each of the last 3 seasons, and while winning is important to the program, so is giving back to the community. This season, the Tigers have joined a national organization that aims to impact the lives of children facing serious and chronic illnesses. The Tigers have opened up their practices, their locker room, and their hearts to make one local girl's dream come true.
Lily Breon Milliman was born premature, and by her first birthday, her parents knew something wasn't right.
We started noticing that she wasn't quite developing the way that you would think a child would develop.
Lily was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, a condition that affects one's muscle tone, movement, and motor skills.
Certainly mobility is very difficult for her, kind of the things that we all take for granted. Getting up in the morning, being able to get dressed on your own, getting ready to go out to school and so forth are difficult for her.
Lily is now 9 years old, and the 4th grader from Webster likes baseball, bowling, and basketball. Thanks to Team Impact, an organization that connects college athletic programs with children facing serious illnesses, Lily and the RIT women's basketball team are just getting to know each other.
How would you describe Lily?
Spunky would be the first word to come to my mind. she's just full of energy. You can't have a bad day when she's around.
This season, Lily has become a regular at RIT games and practices too.
She comes to practice with something she wants to work on every time. She says, "Coach, let's try dribbling. Let's do a passing drill." She's driven and motivated and is always up for anything.
Her drive to get better is incredible. She talks about how she practices all the time at home. She's always asking to come to practice with us. She gets frustrated with her parents when they won't drive her to our 6 a.m.s. So she's just been such a great addition to our team.
Lily became a part of the team at a press conference in November, where she signed her letter of intent to officially be a Tiger.
What does it mean to officially be a member of the RIT Tiger family?
I am happy. I am great. I am excited.
Lily has her own locker and will wear number 7 this season. And while that's a big deal to her, the new friends she's made mean a whole lot more.
I didn't have enough friends, but now that I'm on it, I have college friends.
For a family who sometimes, has a hard time figuring out where, Lily belongs and where the family belongs as far as within, we're not really part of a sports community per se. So to be part of a program that is very inclusive is just, it's very positive for us.
What do you hope your student athletes learn from this experience?
I think that it's important for them to learn how important it is to give back into the community, and that it's not about the wins and the losses. Yeah, we want to win games, but we also want to make a positive impact in the community and help somebody else.
Great having Lily part of the RIT family. Well, when we come back on Pregame Live, he spent the week scouting the Riverhawks. Now RIT assistant coach David Insulaco is ready to break down the matchup. He'll join the program live next on the home of Tiger Hockey. This is RIT Sports Zone Pregame Live. Welcome back inside the Gene Policini Center, where you're watching RIT Sports Zone Pregame Live, presented by Taylor the Builders. The Tigers and Riverhawks series dating back to the 60s. Tonight marks the 10th all-time meeting between these two programs. RIT's first victory in the series dates all the way back to the 1983 Division II National Semifinal. Tigers won 4-1 en route to RIT men's hockey's first national championship. As you see the hardware there, it is a non-conference game for RIT, but that doesn't mean we're not keeping an eye on Atlantic hockey tonight. The service academies renewing their rivalries. Air Force is at Army. Canisius looking to build on last weekend is at Bentley. First place Sacred Heart is at last place Mercyhurst, while Niagara is hosting Holy Cross. Joined now by the guys who will have the call for you here tonight, Gene Battaglia and John DiTullio. And guys, this UMass Lowell team comes to town with some really impressive credentials, including a victory earlier this season on the road against the defending national champion Minnesota Duluth.
Yeah, and if there's anything we learned, good evening to you, Kevin, is the Tigers. I mean, they played well at Ohio State. They beat Bowling Green as a team that can, I like the Tigers going tonight here.
Absolutely. They've been challenged, as Kevin just mentioned. You just mentioned earlier in the season. They stood up to the test against Bowling Green and Ohio State. I expect to see the same thing tonight and tomorrow afternoon.
As we are joined by assistant coach David Insulaco. David, appreciate your time tonight. What are the lessons that you take coming from playing those non-conference games earlier, the Bowling Greens, the Ohio States, as you face this tough opponent tonight?
We had a very challenging non-conference schedule starting the season, going on the road to Colgate and getting a W there, and then having to play Merrimack and at home during homecoming, and then a Bowling Green team who was really solid, and then playing Ohio State at the tail end of that icebreaker, who's proven to be a top 10 team in the country. So we have a lot of confidence heading into this game, but our opponent tonight is formidable for sure.
The timing of these games, Dave, a little bit different. Do you kind of like, does it break up conference play? Do you kind of like the timing of this weekend and next weekend for your club?
For sure. In the past, it's always been, play your non-conference game before your conference schedule. And that got a little tough because you're trying new guys out here and there. So I like how we played some non-conference games and then got into league action, and now we can revisit non-conference action and sort of fine-tune things heading into the final stretch.
Dave, I'm sure the message has been delivered by you and the coaches. Stop taking some of these penalties. Is that easier said than done? How do you get the guys to cut that down?
Internal accountability. They're responsible for one another. Penalties have been a problem. I think in the first 10 games we were about 4.6 penalties per game, and that's a lot. And then the last 10, it's been around 5.7 penalties per game, and that's far too many. You're just not going to sustain things on the penalty kill when you take close to 6 penalties a game. So you want to keep it to 4 or less in a perfect world. So hopefully we can do that this evening.
Dave, appreciate your time. Go get him tonight.
Thank you.
David Zalasko, assistant coach here at RIT.
He's got to play clean, got to play smart, because here's a club, you make any kind of mistake, they're so talented, they're going to capitalize immediately. So RIT, obviously that's the first key, stay out of the box.
Yeah, this is a UMass Lowell team that has 4 NHL draft picks tonight. 1 in the lineup. Drafted in the 7th round by the LA Kings, Andre Lee. Looking forward to seeing him tonight.
This team is littered with great players, and they've got some good young freshmen. They've got a guy named Matt Brown, Zach Kaiser, and Andre Lee. There you look at them, 4 goals, a draft pick of the LA Kings. Talking with Wayne, just a dynamic playmaker on both ends of the ice, and really a skilled forward here for UMass Lowell.
So this is a Tiger team that's still kind of young. One of those young players in our last broadcast kind of stepped up. Jake Jaffe with a goal in regulation, a goal in the shootout.
More and more we see him on the ice. Kind of reminded me of Nick Bruce last year. More and more ice time Nick Bruce got, he got better. More and more we see of Jake Jaffe, who has caught fire here the last couple of weeks, had a big game last Friday with Canisius. Of course, had a goal and then got the game winner in the shootout. So that's a sophomore that's getting better and better with more ice time.
Yes, he has 4 goals and 4 goals on 7 shots, which
shoot more. Shoot and score, shoot the puck. He's been doing that, and he's been lighting that lamp, so to speak.
What do the Tigers have to do tonight, John?
Well, here's something different. They're going to have to clean it up. You know what to do? Go out and get one of those ShamWows. Clean up the penalties, Gino. You got to clean it up. ShamWow to the rescue. And how do they measure up? This is the 3rd-ranked team they played this year. They've beaten Bowling Green, lost to Ohio State. Great litmus test here, not only tonight but next weekend as well. And they're going to find that spark. The students aren't back until Monday. There won't be much. Hopefully there's some juice, but you're going to have to create your own spark, create your own energy, and play hard for 60 minutes tonight if you're going to beat a quality UMass Lowell team.
Yeah, Kevin, we're minutes away from face-off. Looking to call in this one here tonight.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you in just a bit. We'll wrap things up from here next. You're watching RIT Sports Zone pre-game live. And just a reminder that the Riverhawks and Tigers will wrap up their 2-game non-conference series tomorrow night. Note the earlier time, our coverage kicking off at 4:30 with RIT Sports Zone pregame live, presented by Taylor the Builders, followed by Face-Off at 5:05 on My 18 Rochester and FlowHockey.tv. Hey, with the students still on break until Monday, some have trickled in early, but they're all not back yet. There's plenty of tickets available for tomorrow night's series finale. It is also youth hockey night here at the Policini. Doors open up at 3:30, and you can get youth tickets for only $4. Great group rates as well. Visit the Policini Center box office or RITtickets.com. And we'll see you right here tomorrow night with the series finale between UMass Lowell and RIT. Well, that'll do it for pregame live. Up next, it's Atlantic Hockey versus Hockey East as RIT faces UMass Lowell. John and Gene will have all the action for you. We'll see you back here for the intermission report. Until then, enjoy the game, everyone. RIT Sports Zone Live begins right now.